cars. Driver Carrington gets dumped by Benami. The leaders are winding up here at Daytona. The big one is out. Good evening, race fans, and welcome back to the Camping Universe Budweiser 150 at the virtual Daytona International Speedway. Getting ready to see some fantastic truck drivers make their way around the High Bank Super Speedway, and another fantastic Tuesday night shootout. As always, I'm your host, James East, bringing the action 1080p, 60 frames a second. As right now, qualifying starting to wrap up. Looks like a pretty healthy grid here today, about 20 drivers. As we're going to wait for them. Yes, qualifying has finished up. And let's get ready to run it through the grid for today's main event. Starting on pole, Brian Robinson, the number 37 machine. Brad Floyd, the number 20, starts second. Ryan Decker starting third. Brett Murphy will be fourth on the grid. Nicholas Wing will be starting fifth. Tyler Aspinall starting sixth. Joe Crow starts seventh. Ben McDonald starting 8th, Will Cloud starting 9th, Jared Ziegler starting 10th, Josiah Strauss starts 11th. We've also got Robert Hill Jr. making his way out. He'll be starting 12th here tonight. Lucas Strayer starting 13th, Doug Newbinging starting 14th, Mitchell Mama starts 15th, John Boger starts 16th, Derek Stanley 17th on the grid, Zachary Thornton starting 18th, Chris Sawyer starts 19th, Nicholas Claiborne starts 20th, Caleb Weekly starting 21st. Jeffrey Sykes starting 22nd. Ryan Ziegler starting 23rd. Let's cycle it back, and that's going to be it. 23 drivers making their way out. And let's see what these competitors can do. As always, let me know where you're from, who you're cheering for. As it's great having the fans out here each and every Tuesday night cheering on the Camp Universe truck drivers. This is the time where the drivers will get a little bit more feedback from race control about what's expected, what's allowed, and what they're going to be able to get away with here tonight. Now, it's going to be interesting to me to see how things pan up. How aggressive are these drivers going to be to try and make moves? We saw a large portion of the field opting not to qualify, so I'm wondering if that's maybe some of the drivers you're going to expect to see kind of hang towards the back. Not wanting to put themselves in harm's way. We're still waiting on Doug Newbinging, Chris Sawyer, Caleb Weekly, and of course Jared Ziegler, our race control tonight, to make their way out. Ziegler hops on the grid, so that's a good sign. Things are about to start. As here we go, drivers look like they're all going to be out on the grid. For those that are going to make it, it looks like Robert Hill Jr. starting from pit road, perhaps. An interesting decision. So it's going to be Floyd and Robinson on your front row, Decker, Murphy your second row, Wing and Aspinall your third row. Now this is the Legacy Daytona our drivers are on this evening, so a little bit more bumpy than they may be used to with the new repaved surface. Not quite as pretty as the new Daytona, but it gets the job done just fine. Pace car will be in this time by and let's see what these Titans are going to do out at Daytona. Pace car is in. And away they go with Robinson, a big launch to the inside line. Looks like Decker's going to follow suit. Floyd and Murphy may have gotten caught sleeping at the wheel there. As drivers going to very quickly jockey for position. Look how bumpy it is through 1 and 2. Makes it pretty tough to hold on to. Nicholas Wink makes a move towards the inside line. The number 99 machine trying to get back up there. As you can see the field trying to get straight up. Interesting rows here. About 4 drivers in each. But that inside line trying to get a big run as they know Brady Floyd out front. But here we go. Here comes Robinson on the inside line. Accompanied by Ryan Decker moving their way up very quickly. So again, if you look towards kind of the top right of your screen, a lot of drivers opting to take it easy, stay back as they have a sneaking suspicion there will be a little bit of carnage up here at the front. Just takes one bad bump, one lapse of judgment, enough to send the whole field careening around. As you got to give Floyd some credit there on the high line, not showing too many signs of slowing out. We got Casey Grove joining us tonight. She's cheering on Brian Decker in the number 10 machine. He's coming second on that inside line, sandwiched between Robinson and Wing. Oh, here we go. Looks like Decker went to the inside line. We're going to make it 3 wide here in Daytona as we cross the line. It's Robinson, Decker, Floyd. Your front row, Nicholas Wing, the 99 machine, trying to push Robinson towards the front. As we see these trucks pogoing across the asphalt, but we're going to have a caution come out early on. Trying to get a report who that may have been. Looks like it may be Caleb Weekly, who is no longer on the surface. Where did Weekly go? Interesting. So Weekly, from my point of view, has completely disappeared. Not sure where he went. Bueller, Weekly. This will be our first caution of the night. Again, fortunately, we did not get that replay incident for you. As it appears Weekly has just completely vanished in that crash. About half the field, it looks like, diving down pit road. It's still going to be Robinson and Wing on the front row, Decker, Floyd your second row, Ziegler and Aspinall your third row. Those drivers going to value the track position a little bit more than a full tank of gas at this point. Now, it looks like most drivers run about 12th to 18th place only took 2 tires, if they even took that. Most likely just taking fuel. So we're going to get him gridded back up, double file behind our iRacing safety car. We got a few other drivers coming out for a late stop. Murphy, Sykes, Sawyer, Brian Ziegler all in pit road very late here. I wonder if they maybe had a little bit of damage in that invisible crash from earlier. All right, let's try it again. Away they go. Brian Robinson with another great start here. He's got Nicholas Wing, Decker, Floyd, Aspinall all up in the mix as they are going hard early on. Let's see, we're going to go 3 wide in the first couple of corners. Doesn't look like we're going to play nice and safe-ish. 2 wide, about 4 rows deep. The outside line is a lot more formed up here. Look at that, the number 99 machine, Nicholas Wing, has a big run on the high line. Will we see him drop down in front of Robinson, the number 37 Toyota Tundra driver, who's leading the yard, now is leading the race on the inside line. Doesn't look like Wing was able to get that run he was really looking for here. Rocking and rolling side by side, still trying to make it relatively easy. Nobody wants to throw it away too early on, but we've already had one caution rear its head. Historically, cautions breed cautions, but maybe at the super speedway late race, and that'll be a little bit different as Decker throws a huge block on Robinson for the race lead. Wing gets left on the high line all by his lonesome. We're going to take turns cycling them up towards the front. Still too wide for Rosite for your racers. That's the top 8, all in one gigantic gaggle. As drivers will occasionally hop out of line, looking for a little bit of clean air. Trucks are maybe just looking to get their references again. It's tough to see what's going on when you're in the middle of the fray. Speaking of fray, we go on board with Jared Ziegler, the number 8 machine. Showing you just how bumpy and close these drivers are getting as you hear him step off the gas to avoid running over the drivers in front of them. So still looks like the top 8 drivers all right there together. You got Brett Murphy, the 64 machine. He was kind of hanging back, watching to see what's going to happen, but look up front, Ryan Decker was getting a little bit squirrely behind Brady Floyd on that inside line. Now Jeffrey Sykes is taking the tow back to pit road, so he's got some sort of issues. Not sure what's going on. As Ryan Decker, Nicholas Wing have a bit of a breakaway, rocking forward. Decker has moved his way up front in that number 10 machine, but Brady Floyd's going to try and answer on the outside line. Right behind these two, you've got Nicholas Wing, Brian Robinson. They'll be the second group of trucks side by side as everybody comes out of turn 4 and into the tri-oval here at Daytona. This is high-speed chess, my friends. Drivers hitting speeds in excess of 109 miles an hour. Right now, your top 5 is Robinson, Brady Floyd, Aspinall. But even that's quick to change as these guys have been battling back and forth hard this evening. Robinson leads the inside line with Jared Ziegler in tow on the high line. It's Brady Floyd, Nicholas Wing trying to get some momentum built up. It's interesting to see looks like the Highlines had the most amount of luck, the most success in getting some more speed built up. We got Robert Wagner joining us tonight on YouTube. Yes, it is. This is the Camping Universe Truck Series. They run every Tuesday night. I'll see if I can get you a Discord invite here shortly and join the action. Got the Discord posted in our YouTube chat as well for those that may want to join the fray. Come out here and racing with some very talented drivers as the Budweiser 150 is putting on a great show for these guys. Robinson, Floyd still hold on to the front row, but you've got Ziegler and Wing right behind them. Now, Jared Ziegler, that number 8 Chevrolet, is up 7 positions so far tonight. But it looks like our hard charger currently Nicholas Claiborne in the number 33 Ford F-150. He's up 12 positions. And he's one of those drivers that seems to maybe just take it a little bit cautiously. Not wanting to get too close to that lead pack. And the last thing he wants to do is, again, see if they get themselves wadded up and get caught up in it. Back up front to your race leaders. Brian Robinson, Brady Floyd still side by side. Ziegler and Wing right in tow behind them, as well as Aspinall and Decker. They'll make up the third row in this lead pack. I think the name of the game for a lot of these drivers is just take it easy till you've got about maybe 10, maybe 5 laps left. And then you're going to see some real aggressive driving as the gang will be more likely to go 3 wide and press the issue. Robinson holding on to it in the inside line, trying to keep Brady Floyd's number 20 machine at bay. But it seems like maybe after that first caution, drivers played it safe, but now raises the question, what's going to happen to the top 7 drivers who did not come in on that lap 4 or 5 caution? To rebuild his trucks, just how long can they go under wide open conditions here, or they may be banking on a mid to late race caution to kind of make their lives a little bit easier as far as strategy goes. We still have 20 drivers out on the track. It looks like 19 are all within 2.5 seconds of your race leader. It's Robinson, Ziegler, Decker on the inside line. Behind that, it's kind of everybody's guess. Looks like Floyd staying on the high line while Nicholas Wings dropped low. Going pretty well for Decker, Robinson, Floyd, Ziegler, Aspinall, all up here in the mix. How long can these drivers go before we see them dive down pit road? I believe it's going to be a one-stop race for these drivers as they are running 100% fuel allotment, so no major pressing issue about running out of fuel here tonight. I would be interested to see at the end of this as well how many different lead changes we get. Robinson and Decker side by side. Ziegler, Floyd side by side the second row. You can see behind them drivers trying to decide which line they think can help their chances of victory here tonight. And we're going to have problems. Big problems. Oh, for a smaller field, a whole lot of damage there. McDonald, Claiborne heavily involved. What happened up front? Let's watch that one once more. Focusing on Brian Robinson's 37 machine. Did Robinson maybe try and go up? Watch the red machine. I can't tell if he came up or the 10 came down, but either way, it's going to very quickly spell disaster for Ryan Decker, who's going to get absolutely clobbered by the field here. Careen around to that number 10 machine. We'll speed that one up for you. And the field just comes stacking in here. So big crash here at Daytona, an early big one. And that'll be our second caution of the night. Gonna take a quick break, grab some water, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more action here at the Camping Universe of Budweiser 150. So as that pit cycle continues, or completes, I should say, on the lap 24-25 stop, looks like it's Ben McDonald, Ryan Decker, Tyler Aspinall with extended stays on pit road. Joe Croce, Nicholas Claiborne, Sykes, and Weekly have all sent it back to the virtual hauler this evening. And now it'll be Mitchell Mama in the top spot, the number 98 machine. He is up 14 positions so far in the Toyota. We've got Norman King joining us as well. We'll try and get them sorted once more, just about at the halfway mark this evening. As we get ready to re-rack them while we're under eye-pacing conditions. If you're just tuning in, this is the second caution of the night after the big one. And it looks like we're starting this thing single file this time by, so trying something different. Away goes Mitchell Mama in the number 98 Toyota Tundra. He's being chased by Jared Ziegler, Brian Robinson, Derek Stanley, Brady Floyd, your current top five. Single file for at least a while as Mama and Stanley have a massive run out front. Lucas Strayer's about 3/10 back. You've also got Brian Ziegler in tow as well. So the field may be calming down here slightly. We shall see on that. up front as we've got Stanley putting the pressure on the number 98. Mama, everybody charging forward here. As it looks like Strayer happy staying a couple of truck lengths back in third. As this is the top 13 you see on screen right now. As Mama has a pretty big breakaway in the 98 machine. Oh, there's traffic to play with. That's the number 10 of Ryan Decker up on the high line. He's able to get back out on track, but unfortunately being about 4 laps down here after his early incident. Mama has a massive breakaway, almost 7/10 ahead of Derek Stanley, Lucas Strayer. Back up to reel in your race leader. A little bit odd to see everything so stretched out at a super speedway. But here comes Stanley with some big moves, very quickly closing the gap. He's left Lucas Strayer about 7/10 behind. Strayer has company with Brian Ziegler. I wonder if we're seeing a little bit of fuel save out of these drivers for them to make it to the end here. Going to be interesting what type of strategy starts to pan out. Let us know what you think at home as well. Are we seeing maybe a fuel mileage race as Stanley has linked up to Mitchell Mumba's number 98, the two Toyota drivers having over a second gap here. The drivers behind them. It's 26 laps left to go. Brian Ziegler seems like he's kind of in no man's land. He's got a second gap between himself and Stanley in second, as well as another second back to Lucas Strayer running fourth. Now, if this is a fuel mileage race, Derek Stanley came in a lap 25 compared to Mumba's lap 24 pit stop. Stanley may be trying to keep the pressure on the 98 to get him to burn up a little bit more fuel, as Mitchell does not have the advantage of the draft to save as he makes his way around the high banks. You can see Brian Strayer behind your race leaders behind them. It's an absolute party from 4th to about 13th place, still in a nice and tidy pack. I am definitely interested in what exactly it is we are seeing here. I would think with all the broadcasts I've called, it's definitely a fuel mileage race, because if you focus your attention back to 4th place, for the most part, another massive freight train of drivers. But what I think is happening, and I could be very wrong on this, is most drivers in fuel-saving mode, while Stanley keeping the pressure on Mama. They have gained about a 2-second gap over Brian Ziegler. Brian Ziegler in 3rd. He's got just about a 5-second gap over Zachary Thornton in 4th. We wait for that live time to update there. We get a green flag position still with 23 laps left to go. As we heard somebody let the magic smoke out. I think that was Ryan Decker, I believe, may have blown up the number 10. He's staying off the race surface. Hopefully the caution will not come out. As I think, yeah, he's just coasting here. So hopefully he can get a tow back to pit road without that caution coming out, because I want to see what this is going to do if we go green all the way around. It'll be very interesting to see who may be able to make it till the end and who's going to have to come down pit road under green flag conditions, assuming the caution does not come out for Ryan Decker, as he's limping around about 40 miles an hour here at Daytona. If he gets back onto the hot surface, it's very likely that will trigger a caution. Ryan Decker did get a tow back to pit road before the caution came out, so we are looking good to run this thing out till the end. If we don't have any big incidents, I'm very intrigued here because these two guys have gained over 4.5 seconds over the rest of the field. And Brian Ziegler, who was running 3rd, has dropped all the way back to 10th, allowing the field around him. As let's pan back to Nicholas Wing. He's got a whole lot of company behind him. Wing in 3rd place in the 99 machine. He's got Doug Newby in the 70, Lucas Strayer, Zachary Thornton, Brady Floyd, Jared Ziegler, Brian Robinson, Brian Ziegler, Don Boger, Chris Sawyer, all here to the top 3rd through 12th. Running single file in what I think is a fuel mileage race, except for Derek Stanley, who's going to be forcing the issue against the 98, saying no fuel saving here, my friend. We've got to go. keep an eye out and see how the rest of the field may be able to catch them. They're very slowly closing in on the 4-second gap. Your race leaders were able to give themselves But your second pack here has closed the gap to about 3 seconds. So with Nicholas Wing leading the charge, they are gaining ground about a half second per lap. Let's see what it updates to this next time by. Your race leaders clicked off 50.69. Both Mama and Stanley identical lap times. That time by was a 50.74 and a 0.73 for Stanley. Yes, we confirm it. This second pack running about a half second per lap faster than your race leaders. Using that massive draft advantage as you've got a freight train running single file here tonight. Now I'm curious, will these guys work together for the entire event to try and catch back up your race leaders? Because Wing and Newby linked up nose to tail. Lucas Schreier kind of lagging behind here, not wanting to lend his support to the number 70 Chevrolet. And that's going to make it quite tough this massive pack to catch up to your race leaders, because Stanley and Mama running second and first have extended their gap back to 3 seconds, 3.2 seconds it looks like. So the run from the back has stalled slightly. Laps left to go. They've gained about a second on your race leaders. Now it's only 2 seconds separating Mitchell Mama. Derek Stanley running first and second from Wing and Newbingy running third and fourth. We are going to have a race form up in the next couple of laps if I had a wager. The race for the lead is ready to go. It's still Mama out front, but Wing trying to work the high line by himself, not getting any support here. As Stanley stays linked up to the back of the 98 machine, Newbingy and Jared Ziegler. That was that traffic, I think. Yes, it is, because Ziegler's about 3 minutes back. As everybody scatters 3 wide through traffic, able to hold on to it so far. Well done. And Wing will will drop all the way back to 7th without getting the support on the high line he was looking for. Who's going to be a little bit short here on fuel at the end, or are we going to be able to make it happen without too much heavy lifting? As all of a sudden, it is a 12-truck battle for the lead. Ooh, look at that. Mama gets all sorts of swirling from out of 4, and now Jared Ziegler will take over the race lead, number 8 machine, with a little bit of help from Brian Robinson. They are bump drafting quite aggressively here. Patience about to go out the window for these drivers. We got Norman King, he's wagering on a caution with 5 to go. I'd say that's a pretty safe bet. Playing the draft lottery here in Daytona. Look at the 98 machine trying so hard to get back up front and reclaim that top spot. Also keep an eye out on Brian Ziegler, number 7 machine. He's up 9 so far tonight. Biding his time, playing it safe as things get a little bit squirrely through traffic. Brian Ziegler has Nicholas Wing linking up to the back. Two Chevrolet drivers trying to get the high line working. Oh, Brian Ziegler hops back down low, tucking in behind Robinson. Jared Ziegler still leading things here. Nicholas Wing on the front line. Brian Robinson, Mitchell Malmont running right behind him. Looks like the number 20 of Brady Floyd willing to get up in there in the mix as well. Time for these drivers to risk it and see what's going to happen. Now Jared Ziegler, currently showing your race leader in the bright green number 8. He's looking for Brian Ziegler in the 7 to get back up there, lend him some support, and see if they can work together up towards the front. And I still think it's anybody's guess inside the top 12 who's realistically going to bring home a win here tonight. Ziegler on the high line, Wing on the inside line. Robinson gives a hearty shove to the number 8. Jared Ziegler able to hold on to it. But who's it going to be here at the line? It'll be 7 laps left to go. It's going to be Jared Ziegler by about a 10. Jared Ziegler stays committed to the high line. But Robinson all over his back bumper. That forced Brian Ziegler to check up number 7. now it'll be Nicholas Wing leading the charge on the inside line to make it happen. I think the bump drafts to the corners really hurting that outside line. Let's see, does Ziegler stay high? That's where his teammate is, just the trucks back. Nicholas Wing not sure where he's going to go. He goes to the high line, throwing a bit of block on Jared Ziegler. Ziegler says no worries there as he slides up to the inside line. A little bit of contact between the 8 and the 99, but so far so good. Everybody able to hold on to it. It's 190 miles an hour here this evening. Let's see if the spectators were correct. They were kind of saying, you know what, we're thinking there's going to be a caution with 5 to go, and there's 6 to go is the magic number. Jared Ziegler, Nicholas Wing, hard involved in that one as the field scatters. Well, I can definitely say we saw that one coming. Get that camera angle backed up a little bit here. Try that one once more for the fans at home. So let's see what happens here. See if we can break it down. We're watching Jared Ziegler, the number 8 machine. Wing maybe looked at going 3 wide. Just caught the corner panel of Jared Ziegler. The number 98 machine of Mitchell Mum is going to have some damage in that one as well. As both the 99 and the 8 bounce off each other once more. But look at this. This is where it gets really scary. Ziegler has the 2 right side tires lifted up in the air and starts to peel across into traffic. Does a great job locking it up. And thankfully the field not getting too tied up in that one. But we got to give Norman King some credit. Half a lap off on that wager. Not bad, not bad. As let's see, Brian Robinson opts to stay out in the number 37, as well as I think Brian Ziegler and John Boger. So they'll be starting 1, 2, 3. I believe this is going to put us in their green-white checker conditions. Now we do have 3 green-white checker attempts tonight, overtime conditions. It is absolutely anybody's guess on how this is going to pan out here. This will put us into our first of 3 green-white, possible green-white checker attempts of the evening. Of the evening. Robinson, Brian Ziegler, your front row. John Boger, Brady Floyd, your second row. Mama and Strayer will be your third row. Here we go for what could be the final time of the evening. Robinson with another great launch to the inside line. But keep an eye out on Brian Ziegler on the high line, the number 7. Now again, if we can take the white flag, we will finish this no matter what. We have a caution before the leader crosses the line when the white flag is out. We will use or begin to use our second green-white checker attempt of the evening. Everybody jockeying for a spot as it looks like we're hinting at going 3 wide. Brian Ziegler showing his race here. They're trying their best to wad it up on the inside line. Brian Ziegler hops back down low. He's accompanied by Brady Floyd on the high line. Right behind them, John Boger. Lucas Strayer tucking in to see where they can make some ground up at. As Ziegler, Brian Ziegler getting all sorts of unsettled, getting a Hardy bump, and somebody tries to pass Brian below the yellow. And what? No caution. Oh, there's going to be some words after this one. We're going to run this thing out to the end. It's Brady Floyd, Lucas Strayer. Oh, and they go airborne behind them. Just pure violence here at Daytona. Brian Robinson, Derek Stanley involved in that one. As we go 3 wide, or attempt to go 3 wide once more up front, Brady Floyd leads the charge. He's got Zachary Thornton right behind him, as well as Lucas Strayer, Doug Newbing, and 4 drivers gonna try and bring it home here. Oh, they're bumping and grinding. Who's gonna cross the line? And it looks like it's gonna be Brady Floyd. Zachary Thornton. And Doug Newbing, your top 3. Let's take a look at a couple of these crashes because they were spectacular. Here's Brian Ziegler getting cleaned out. And further up ahead on the same lap. This is where it's going to get all sort of exciting. They're bumping, they're grinding, they're blocking, and things just go bad and worse as the field stacks it up behind them. As we get some general shenanigans down here on the apron at Daytona. We get our top 3 drivers up here into the waiting room after quite a wild finish. Got everybody except for Doug Newbing and waiting for him to make his way up here. Gonna try and get everybody up here. Still waiting on Doug Newbing in the number 70 machine. He's the final driver. We're waiting to get up here in the waiting room before we can get underway with our podium interview process. Here we go. So up first, we got Douglas Newbing in the number 70 machine, bringing home a third here tonight. Doug, not a bad day for some plate racing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was good. Just save fuel the whole entire time. I mean, I don't know, I'm fired up about that finish, but yeah.
Now, Doug, I think you were on like the 7th row for that restart, that green-white checker attempt. What was the plans as you guys got fired back up and realized you had so many trucks you're going to have to try and get past to get onto the podium here?
I mean, it wasn't. I mean, I kind of had an idea to stay in the top lane because you can always make moves like 2 wide, 3 wide up there. So it's basically I try to always avoid the bottom whenever I play tracks on green white checkers because once you get in there, you can't make any moves. So obviously you want to be on the outside, hold that line, just freight train up the top, and try to make something happen, which it worked out this time pretty well. So.
Yeah, seemed like it did. Now, Doug, do you think tonight went cleaner than most of the drivers were expecting, or what was the expectations?
Yeah, I definitely think it went a lot cleaner. I mean, I think that caution, lap 25-ish or whatever, everyone coming down pit road, that really put the incentive on saving fuel, especially we're, single file line. You saw it on the broadcast, obviously, how we're just single file the whole entire time. I mean, that definitely made it, a lot more clean. But I mean, yeah, I'm honestly surprised that final run did have a little bit more wrecking going on. But yeah.
Well, great night all the way around here at Daytona. And Doug, before I let you sign off and go celebrate, who do you want to give a shout out to? Friends, family, sponsors that helped you get up here tonight.
Yeah, sure. Thanks to Finlay Hats, Natalie's Orange Juice, Roasted Gems Coffee, which you use code Lucky Ducks, you get 10% off. It's pretty cool. Nice coffee company. And then RS Button Boxes, Shea Designs makes beautiful paint scheme, and Lucky Duck Motorsports for having me on their team. Everyone at EE Racing, love you guys, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you.
Awesome, Doug. Hope to see you back up here next week, and always a great time talking to you.
Yeah, hopefully I'll be back up here. That's the plan, man.
Thank you, sir. Have a good one.
You too.
That was Doug bringing it home in third place. Up next, we've got Zachary Thornton, the number 35 machine. A hard-fought second, a little bit of scratches on the paint of that 35 Toyota, but all in all, a pretty good night for you.
Yeah, that was a good race. It was able to stay clean of most of the issues, so just surviving was the key, and I was able to do it. Just do just that, and got second place out of it.
Yes. Zachary, we saw you qualify, I believe, is about 18th. Was that by design? Did you decide not to go out for qualifying, or what was the plan after that? That starting from the back, I should say.
Yeah, my whole plan was just to start in the back, eventually make my way up, which I was able to do because a lot of people just wrecked out, and I knew that the big wreck was going to happen at some point. So I just stayed clear, stayed in the back so I could brake and not have any issues. Worked perfectly, and I was just able to survive to the end, which is really what I wanted to do.
Yeah, I mean, and how do you get to that point where you can kind of trust the guys at the end? Granted, I mean, we lost about 5 or 6 trucks pretty early on, but there was still plenty of danger when you guys were going 2 wide, 4 or 5 rows deep. So how do you know who you can trust and who to maybe give a little bit of extra room to?
Well, I can always trust the guys I've been working with, which would be Brady and Lucas Strayer. Those guys I know they'll always race me clean well, and just worked with them to get by everybody else, and it worked perfectly. We were just able to, even the sketchy parts, just push nice, keep it clean, keep it steady, and not wreck. We got control of that bottom lane, and I was able to block in the final lap, and then we were just able to stay clear of it. The wreck happened behind us, and we were all good.
Glad to see you up here second place, our hard charge of the night, and again up 16 spots. So all in all, fantastic run for you in that 35 Toyota, excuse me. Who do you want to give a shout to that helped you get up here into the top 3? Well, even better, the top 2 tonight.
Well, I'd like to thank Brady and Lucas, and then I gotta thank 4o'clock.net, even though they're not my sponsor. Brady told me to thank him. So, and I just like to thank you for broadcasting. Thanks, Jared, for just being a great admin and being like really professional, doing a good job.
Awesome. Well said, Zachary. Congratulations, man. A great second place run, and hope to see you back up here next week and even more throughout the season.
Sounds good.
That was Zachary Thornton finishing second, but up next, Brady Floyd in the number 1 spot, putting the number 20 machine proudly up top after a grueling green-white checker attempt.
Yes, sir. We're really happy to get this one done. I love Daytona. I love all super speedways. This one's probably my favorite configuration we have, so definitely really happy, really thankful to get the win here today.
Now, Brady, you qualified second tonight, so only up 1 spot, but hey, not a bad night all considered. What was the plan? I mean, we had some drivers trying to start towards the back, and then we had guys like yourself that said, you know what, let's get up front and let's try and stay there. So how do you make that decision, and kind of what led to your thought process there?
Well, I feel like I know how to work the lines pretty well at a super speedway. Obviously, this place is a little bit harder, and to be honest, I wasn't expecting that many people to be, or as many people as there were up at the front. So, I mean, the decision going into it was just qualify well, start up front, and stay out of the wrecks. And unfortunately, the wrecks found me and my teammates up there a little bit. So, I mean, they were pushing early. They were making 3 wide moves early. So I knew it was just a matter of time, and it was about could I stay in front of it. And I got really fortunate to dodge that first big one that took out 2 of my teammates, and then we just kind of got lucky with that last one there that they wrecked to the inside, not the outside. So.
Now, Brady, in seasons past, we had at least one fast repair in reserve. Do you think the lack of fast repair and maybe the knowledge these drivers have that, hey, if you wad it up, you're done for the night, kind of helps contribute to a little bit cleaner racing?
Oh, absolutely. Not even really that much here, but especially at the other tracks. I think people are much more patient with these long races and no fast repairs, even just when they're running by themselves because they know they got to keep it out of the wall and everything. So I think it's a very good move to go no fast repair, especially at intermediates and short tracks. But here, it definitely helps slow down the cautions because if we get a few early, then not that many people running at the end.
Yeah, I think I tend to agree with you. And Brady, so first win of the season, what's the plan now to try and build off that momentum and maybe see if you can catch up to Strayer, who's leading the points, just 3 points ahead of you after tonight?
I mean, looking at the schedule, there's not really too much work to be done. I think I'm pretty solid locked for playoffs. The only track that I see that I think I'm going to really struggle at is Eldora. I mean, obviously, Martinsville and Talladega, you can get taken out in an instant. So, got to make sure to at least have decent runs there. But I think really just try and carry this momentum as far as we can go. If it falls off, it's okay. But just got to make sure we gather it back in time for playoffs.
Awesome, Brady. Well done. Congratulations on your first win of the season. A great time talking to you. And now, my friend, you have the final privilege, the pleasure of any shout-outs you want to give to friend, family, sponsor that's cheering you on tonight in that number 20 Ford.
Well, definitely got to thank the teammates, Zach Thornton, Luke Strayer, Tyler Aspinall, Will Cloud. Everybody did their part tonight. Everybody played such a huge role. Got to thank all of them for sure. Got to thank 4Cloak Media. You can find him at 4cloak.net and Twitch TV/4Cloak as the main sponsor. Pierce Graphics, and then the team as well, Adria Esports. So big shout out to all those guys. They make this happen, and we're really happy to do it for them. So.
Awesome. Well, Brady, glad to have you up here. Happy for your results, and let's see what we can do in the coming weeks as you got a lot of momentum built up after tonight, my friend.
Yes, sir. Hope to be talking to you again soon.
Me as well. Have a good night, Brady.
All right. Bye-bye.
And that was Brady Floyd picking up the top spot here at the Budweiser 150 at Camping Universe. Great racing, just a few cautions, and a first-time winner this season with Brady Floyd in the number 1 spot. Zachary Thornton finishing second, and Doug Newbinging finishing third. As always, on behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, as well as the Camp Universe Truck Series, thank you all so much for spending a Tuesday afternoon with us, and we look forward to having you sit back same time, same place next week. Have a great night, everyone.